Hello guys, welcome to today's session of Tech Pro with Sabi. I'll be talking about computers. So for instance, if you want to get a new computer or if you want to know a good computer, there are some factors to note, which includes the processor speed, the processor itself, the battery capacity, and also the memory capacity. So I'm going to start with the processor. So the processor is just like the human's brain, for instance, if it were to be a human. So the processor actually does all the background works and how a program works and processing, getting all those tasks done. That's what the processor does. So some, depending on the kind of processor, some processors are actually good while some are relatively good. So I'm putting the word relatively good because I won't say that any processor is bad, right? So but a processor that I can actually recommend anytime any day is the Intel processor. Why? Because it doesn't generate heat, that's number one, and also it does its works very well, right? So that's another important factor about the Intel processor. So we also have other processors like the AMD. The AMD processor actually have an issue before, which the team has been working on it, which actually has to do with generating heat. So if your computer do generate heat, there's a high tendency that it's going to break down. Why? Because of those components inside the computer actually need to breathe, right? So just like that's why you actually see spaces, maybe some holes within your computer. Those holes are actually meant to breathe, but sometimes you keep it on the bed and you try to suffocate it, right? So that's actually wrong. So a computer is not meant to be overheated to avoid it breaking down. So that's one important factor also why getting a computer, the processor. So we also have things like the memory capacity, which has to do with things like the RAM or the ROM. So the RAM, which is actually random access memory, and ROM, which is read-only memory. So the RAM is actually has to do with the program, some of the programs that runs the tasks. So if you have many programs running simultaneously on your computer, so your computer will actually have to lag. So when I mean lag, I mean that it will hang, it won't be working effectively. So if you want to avoid that, then you need to get a laptop of a higher RAM, so which an 8 gig RAM is moderately okay, depending on what you want to use it for, right? So if you just want to have a laptop that has to do with, you just want to watch movie, a 4 gig RAM is okay, and things like maybe depending on the ROM has to do with the capacity. Maybe if your primary goal is to watch movie, right? So you will need a high ROM, so that will have to accommodate a lot of movies, right? So but if you would have maybe just to install software, depending on the size of the software, you may need maybe a 500 gig ROM. Moving to the lifespan of the battery, so you actually have to check the lifespan of the battery, which is very important to avoid your laptop lasting 20 seconds only, which I know you don't want it to happen. So these factors which I have stated are actually one of the most important factors. There are other factors to consider, but these are actually the most crucial factor to note while getting a computer. Thank you. I'll meet you on the next section. Bye.